Good afternoon, everybody. This is Keith Knapp with Profit Lifter. Today, we are going to be talking about the 7 critical elements for a new website. This, if you are looking at building a new website, maybe optimizing what you currently have, thinking about just rebranding, whatever it is. If you're a new business, just getting started, need a website, we're going to talk about the 7 critical elements that you need to have, or things that you could be working on to optimize your current website and make sure that you're converting as many people as you possibly can. So this is going to be a little bit of a quicker lesson today, and we're going to just hop right in and get rolling with this. And as always, if you have any questions, always feel free to throw them into the chat. I am here, I am watching, and I will be looking forward to answering your questions as we get rolling through this. So the number one thing that I can always recommend is for a high converting website is a clear and compelling call to action. So when you start thinking about and talking about a clear and compelling call to action, you want to be thinking about, like, what does this actually mean? So when I think about a clear and compelling call to action, I'm not just looking at a website going, okay, it looks good, but like I need to know that there is a journey associated with what I'm doing. So if I'm signing up for a consultation, I don't want to sign up for a consultation. I want to sign up for something that is going to provide me value, not help me decide if I'm going to spend money with you. Because as soon as I feel like this is an expense and not an investment, I'm out. Like, I don't want to do it. I'm like, you're just costing me money. I'm not investing money. So when you're looking at branding your website and you're looking at trying to get the most out of it, come up with a clear and compelling call to action. Like, why should they be engaging with you? Now, your call to action, a lot of times when you get it on your website and you're starting to look at like conversions, you're looking at trying to make online sales, trying to automate the sales process, there's a lot that you need to keep in mind. And namely, a lot of people aren't going to be instantly buying from you right from your website. And so your website should have multiple call to actions. But what I find that works the best is having one very, very clear-cut call to action with the direction that you want to go. Meaning that, like, if you're scheduling a consultation, instead of just boring, like, oh, schedule a consultation, yay. No, actually get out there and give them value, give them reasons. One of the best things that I figured out early on in my marketing journey was that if you can come up with reasons why somebody should take an action, then you can sell them on them taking an action. But a lot of times what we do is we're like, just schedule a consultation, let's talk. Instead of looking at it going, hey, look, when you sit down with me, here's what you're going to get: A, B, C, D, E, F, and G by the time we're done with our consultation. So what I want you to be thinking about is, what is a good, solid call to action that you can give that you can actually provide value for your leads? Because again, they don't want to sign up for a sales pitch, but they'll sign up for talking with you if there is enough of value behind why they're setting up to talk with you. So that is number one, clear and compelling call to action. Make sure and stop being boring with your call to actions. Like, come up with fun things to do. Give away stuff. Do a funding planning session. Do something. Just come up with something that's not boring, not the same thing they've seen over and over and over again. All right, number 2 for optimizing your website: make it easy to use. Keep it simple, stupid. Sweetie. Keep it simple. It's the KISS method. Having a website that is easy to navigate, easy for them to understand, easy for them to see everything that they want to see up front is going to go a long way for converting people. Now, with that, one of the things that I will tell you, just for me, I have this innate knack that anytime I go to a website, if I'm looking up new software, if I'm looking up new services, things that I may potentially want to be using, the number one place that I go after I land on the website is the pricing page. Because if I can't find pricing, I don't want to work with the company. And I always, like before, I was like, that's a little pretentious of me. But I saw a TikTok video on this yesterday, and it really resonated with me on like thinking about this with the website. If I feel that I'm not, if I can't see how much I should be being charged, I feel that you do not have solid pricing. meaning that you're going to figure out how much money I have and you're going to try to take all of it. Opposed to if you go, look, here's our price. It's already set in stone. We've got it listed on the website. Here's everything that comes along with it. Make it very easy for people to understand your services, your products. But then from there, make sure it's easy to navigate. Make sure that like in your headers that you've got call to action buttons of get started, schedule a consultation, whatever your primary call to action is, you want to have that up there. But you want to make sure that your website's super easy to use, that it's clean, it's friendly. And part of this easy to use, well, I actually cover this a little bit later. So we'll jump into the next part here in a little bit. Number 3 is going to be social proof and trust indicators. Now, when you're looking at social proof and trust indicators, having testimonials is amazing. Definitely get reviews, get testimonials, make sure that you're reaching out to people every chance that you get to be able to beef up your social proof. But on top of just testimonials, there's other things that you can do. Trust indicators can fall under, like if you speak at events, or if you're on radio shows, you're on TV networks, if you're featured in podcasts, if you're featured on blogs, those are all great ways to build trust with people, because people feel that if you're visible, that they can trust you. Now, the other side with the trust indicators is think about if there's any certificates, if there's any industry training, if there are any badges, anything like that you can use to promote your trust. You definitely want to do this. And trust indicators can be like if you're certified, if you've got different, if you've gone through special training, if you've gone through different areas that, if you've gone through different things that prove that you're an expert. These are what you want to be showcasing on your website. It's not always about conversion. A lot of time, because for a conversion to happen, they have to know you, like you, and trust you. Know, love, and trust, however you want to say it. But basically 3 things. The more that you can build that trust with them, the more that they feel that you're a professional, the more that they feel that you're visible and they can see you and they can interact with you, the better off, the more effective your conversions are going to be. So look at your social proof, look at trust indicators, start thinking through like, what are some of the things that you can show? Testimonials, case studies. And, this seems a little, may not seem like it makes a big deal, but having lead magnets, having white papers, having downloads, having things that you're able to develop on your own goes a long way for building trust with the people. So take some time, figure out what are your trust indicators. What is it that people are going to look at and make you go, okay, yeah, they're legit. I like them. I want to work with them. So that's number 3. Number 4, mobile responsiveness. This is it seems a little petty, but it's not. Most of the time, over 60% of the people who visit your website are visiting your website on a cell phone, meaning that you can have the coolest designs in the world. And I've had designers that have done this to me. Like desktop's amazing. It's got all this stuff coming in and you hover and it blows up and blah, blah, blah. And it's got all this cool stuff. You get it on mobile and it looks like butt. Like it's just terrible. It does not look good. Make sure that your website is optimized for mobile. And sometimes that means doing less with your website, maybe not having as many effects on it, reducing the amount of movements, reducing the amount of hover effects, things like that. If it doesn't translate on mobile, it's not necessary, because again, people like we're in the TikTok age now, where everybody's got goldfish attention, meaning that if you're not capturing and converting them in 3 to 7 seconds, you're probably not going to. So if you go to your website and on the mobile version, it just doesn't translate well, doesn't look good, doesn't do what it's supposed to do, then it may be time to look at your mobile responsiveness. And the other side of that is you want to be thinking about, like, when somebody's scrolling, is it telling the story on their mobile phone just as much as it is on a desktop? And a lot of times we kind of forget about it, and mobile responsiveness kind of becomes a secondary thing. But if you start focusing on your mobile responsiveness, the people who are visiting you because you put out a TikTok video and they're on their cell phone, they go to your website, now they're having just this beautiful experience on your website that matches the experience that they're having on social media or through an ad or anything else. So make sure that your site is mobile responsive. If it's not, fix it. And it's really simple to fix with Profit Lifter and your builder. All right, number 5, optimize lead capture forms. There are a lot of different ways that you can utilize forms and quizzes and different mechanisms on your website. So what I want you to be thinking about is, like, how are you really going to optimize your lead capture? And optimizing your lead capture isn't just about, like, oh, I got a form, I'm asking for a name, phone number, email address. Everybody asks for that. That's nothing. But what is it on your form that's going to make it easy for them to get in and out? And part of this is reducing the amount of stuff that they click. So, like, if you're, for example, if I'm a new lead, if I'm somebody who's like, okay, you know what, I'm kind of interested in what you're doing. I want to learn some more. I want to get engaged. I want to figure out some stuff. I want to figure out if I want to work with you more. And I go to a form and it starts asking me for my grandma's girdle size and the year that I graduated high school and all these lists of questions. I'm not going to do that. I'm like, I don't even know you. I'm not going to give you all this information. So when you're looking at your lead captures and you're looking at your forms, what is the least amount of information that you can collect the fastest that reduces the friction of people opting in with you? Meaning that if they go to your website and you've got like 10 questions on a form, they're not going to opt in for that. If you say, what's your name, email address, and phone number, your opt-ins are going to go way up, because the more people have the best way that I've heard it put to me was work in, value out. Meaning that the more work somebody has to put into contacting you, into getting in touch with you, the more work that they're having to do, the less valuable that experience becomes to them. So work in, value out when you're dealing with lead conversion. So what can you do to optimize your leads? Now, some of the other things that you can work around is when you're looking at your lead capture forms, make it clean, make it easy. Don't give them a lot of convoluted questions. Make it simple for them to navigate, and try not to do too much design. If you try designing a form too much, it just becomes cumbersome. You want it to be something that they look at and you're like, oh, that's easy. Name, email address, phone number, answer one question, and I'm ready to go. That's what people want. They want the fast experience. They want to get in there, click what they need to click, fill out what they need to fill out, and then just move on and get rolling with the next phase of their venture with you. All right, second to last. Number 6 is an airtight content strategy. Having an airtight content strategy for your website is one of the fastest ways to be able to optimize your conversion. Meaning that if I go to a website and they're saying one thing on their hero or the top image, and then I start getting into some of their back pages, now they're saying different things. If the content strategy isn't aligned across the entire website, it's going to breed confusion. Not only will it breed confusion on the conversion side, but once you start getting into the sales process, it exasperates that. Meaning that if your marketing and sales content are not just perfectly locked in, what happens is you will advertise something. You'll generate leads saying this really cool thing, but then by the time that they come in and you start having that conversation, they've got this high level of reluctancy because they're like, that's not what you said in your ads. And so having an airtight content strategy goes a long way. Now, we'll do an entire training just on coming up with content strategies for your marketing, and I think that's a great one. We'll address next Wednesday because I got something special for you guys for Friday. But thinking through your strategy, like what's our conversion process? What do we call it? What do we title it? What's the customer journey? What are they experience? How do they get started with us? Like, there's this whole formula of coming up with a content strategy that is actually going to convert, that's going to keep your systems unified and keep your visitors happy. So be thinking about that. What's an airtight content strategy? Now, with this, I will tell you my magic little secret of what I do to come up with content for landing pages. Really simple. I put together a sales pitch. Like, I sit down in front of ChatGPT. I just talk to it like it's a lead. I just basically give it my sales pitch. I'm like, okay, here's what I'm selling. Here's the product. Here's our unique value. Like, I don't say that. I just get into it. Like, I start asking it questions and or just start pitching to it. Like it's a lead sitting right in front of me. Because the thing that I have figured out is that if you can take your sales pitch that you know works, that you can convert clients with, and you can turn that into content for your website, game over. Like, that's it. That is the whole game. That is exactly what you're trying to do. Now, there are going to be some things that don't translate well from conversation over to content and blah blah blah. But for the most part, if you can figure out, like, okay, here's my sales pitch, here's what I talk about every single time, here's what it is, and spell that out in your content for your website, you're going to see your conversions start to increase. You're going to start to see more people opting in. You're going to see a bigger return on your investment. The more that you can lock in your content strategy, make it work, make it fit for what you're doing. And I told you guys today is going to be a short, fast day, just because I got a massive amount of work on my plate. But last one I'm going to say is engaging visuals. Nobody likes to go to a website that doesn't have any pictures on it. Like, we all still like to paint by numbers, paint by colors, all of that fun stuff. Make sure you've got engaging visuals on your website. Get some, like, if you don't have them, go to Canva, go to Fiverr, get a graphic designer, get some people to find some stuff that's out there. But having graphics on your website, having good images, having stuff that people can relate to and feel like they can identify with goes a long way for people connecting. Because one thing I can tell you is, like, if I go to a website and they're not actively, if I look at those images and it does not evoke a sense, an emotion to me, then I don't want to buy from it. So, and I know some of us work in boring, and like, I mean, I sell CRMs, I sell a software. It's boring. I mean, it's really cool, but it's boring, like, to talk about. It's visually, it's not sexy. It has no appeal to it. But when you're thinking about this, you want to be thinking about, like, what kind of people do I want on there? Am I like, and nailing down your avatar is going to do this for you, because then at that point, now you're going to know. Now you can say, oh, look, here's the person that I want to, like, I want this person to buy my product, and so you put that person on your website. Like, knowing your customer journey, knowing your client avatar is going to go a long way for engaging with your audience visually. Because if they can't see it, it's going to be hard for them to visualize it on their own. Not a lot of people will. So a lot of times you have to jump in there and go, hey, dummy, this is what you're doing. This is what it's supposed to look like. So make sure that you've got engaging images. There are a ton of free images out there, like FreePic. That's the one that's coming to top of mind. Pixabay is another one. And if you're using Profit Lifter, your Profit Lifter account, you've actually got Unsplash in there, I believe, is another. And now that one may be paid. But there are several. If you just look up free images, it will pull it up. But make sure that you're finding good images. And sometimes it's like the more that you're growing, the more that your business is starting to take shape. Once you're really starting to invest into your website, you're starting to invest into your brand, your visuals. Like, I would be buying premium images, like going to Shutterstock, finding some really good, high quality premium images. There's no reason that you shouldn't be investing in those when you're ready, like when it's the right time. Like, if you're just getting out there and you're just getting started, it may not be the right time. Maybe a little overkill to go and spend $100-$200 on images, but like, once you have your message down, once you know it's converting, and you start finding that's when you start really looking for those high quality images, or you hire graphic designers to start building you the images that you want. So that's it. Those are our 7 tips. Kept it real simple for us today. Real quick training. But again, let's just recap them from the top. Number 1, make sure you got a clear and compelling call to action. Quit making your call to action suck. Just put some personality behind them, give them something of value, and you'll get a lot more conversions rather than just saying consultation. Number 2, make it easy to use the website. Keep it simple, sweetie. I'm sorry, sweetheart. Keep it simple, sweetie. Make your website easy to use. Make it easy to navigate, easy for them to find everything they need to find. Make sure that you're including social proof, having social media content on there. We didn't talk about that so much, but having testimonials, having trust indicators. If you're speaking at events, having those events previously seen on, things like that. Those trust indicators go a long way. Number 4, mobile responsiveness. If they can't read you from their mobile phone, they're probably not going to read you if they're on their phone, because I can't tell you how many websites I'm like, I'll look up on mobile and be like, man, I want to look at this on my desktop. And then I don't. Sorry, it's curse of an entrepreneur. We got a lot going on. Number 5, optimize lead capture forms. Less is more. Keep it simple. Make it incredibly easy for them to opt in. Optimize it, get the information you need, and then move them through the process and collect their information and get them moving. Number 6, airtight content strategy. If your content is not aligned, if your content is not aligned with your marketing and sales, you are going to have a massive disconnect. Make sure you've got a good content strategy and make sure it looks good. If you don't have engaging visuals, people are going to get turned off. They're not going to feel emotionally connected with your website. So make sure that you're putting engaging visuals. And that's all we got for today, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me. If you have any questions about how you can optimize your website and take your website to the next level, make sure to comment on this video. We will hop in, answer your questions for you. And if you need anything, if you need help with optimizing your website, building a website, getting your CRM up and going, visit us at profitlifter.com or schedule a tour with us, a one-on-one tour at profitlifter.com/tour. And we'd be more than happy to walk you through the process, show you exactly how we can help you grow your business with our pre-built systems, everything built out for you. And until Friday, you guys have a great day, and we will see you next time.